Hello and welcome to What Pet Should I Get? My name is Julia Batchelor. Today on the program we go to the North Toronto Cat Rescue to learn about that organization. Later on, Claire Fordren is here from Dogtails Rescue and Sanctuary. And as always, up first we have Callie Milliman here from the Ontario SPCA, who's brought two matching pets. We got orange kitties and orange bunny rabbits.
Yes, they're fashionable. They're coordinating.
Yeah, and I love this guy. But we'll talk about him in a little bit because first off, I wanted to ask you about Sterling. Now, Sterling was our kitty that was on our last episode, a beautiful little silver cat. There he is right there on camera.
Yep.
What's happening with Sterling?
Sterling was adopted quite quickly, actually, which is awesome. I mean, as everybody saw last week on the show, he was kind of a super cool guy.
He is a cool guy.
Super chilled out, yeah, he found his forever home. So we're very grateful to the show and to everybody who watches to help spread the word about him because he got adopted.
Nice. And I know that all the animals are sort of, they have different personality assessments. But Sterling, what was he, like cool guy?
I think he was an orange, like companion.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the vibe he gave. You could tell right away he loved to be around people. He loved to lounge and hang out and cuddle. Our pal here today that you're cuddling with is kind of similar.
He's an orange too.
Yeah, I believe he is an orange, yeah.
Yeah. So before we get talking about Scone that's sitting here, I wanted to talk to you about Costanza.
Yes.
Now, Costanza is a dog that was, you guys have him at the OSPCA, or he's in foster right now, but tell us his story. There he is right there on camera. He's got a little cone on his head.
So Costanza is one of those particular stories. You can see here that obviously he's gone through something. So this is an example of what the Ontario SPCA sees. Not every single day necessarily, but it definitely happens. And Costanza had an owner, and he unfortunately went through a bit of an accident where he was caught in a fence and he broke his leg. To the point where he definitely needed some surgery in order to repair it. When the owners brought Costanza to the vet clinic, which is a wonderful thing, you know, they were able to bring him in, the cost of the veterinary care for this injury was so high that unfortunately the owners were unable to undergo with that surgery for him. They just couldn't afford it. So what had happened was we were contacted by the veterinary clinic, which then goes to our investigations department. So our investigations department was contacted. They were notified about Costanza and where he was located. One of our agents immediately went to that location and spoke with the veterinarian on staff right away. What they determined was that with surgery, Costanza was able to have a full recovery, but that it was going to take time of rehabilitation, quite a bit of care. Of course, the surgery itself is going to be quite costly.
Yeah.
And of course, now that would be something that the Ontario SPCA would agree to take over. And we did. Of course, knowing that Costanza is a young pup, knowing that he was going to be able to have a full recovery, it's a no-brainer. Our answer is yes. And in that case, now we're reaching out to the public. So we've gone ahead, we've done the surgery. He's now in his recovery stage. As you mentioned, he's gone to a foster home. It's healthier and a little bit easier for animals to recover at a foster home. They're outside of the shelter environment.
Yeah, nice home environment. Everybody wants to be at home to recuperate.
You got it, right? So that's where he is now with an amazing family who's helping to care for him. And what we're doing is trying to ask for people's help, the community's help, to help us recover some of those funds that were poured into his care.
And that website is support.ontariospca.ca.
Yeah, or they can just go right to our website, which is our Peak website, peak.ontariospca.ca, and you'll see Costanza's cute little face right there on the home screen. And in that case, you are able to donate to him directly on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to talk about Scone and Mouse.
Sure.
So Scone that's sitting on my lap here, okay, now when the last time I was at the Ontario SPCA, we were shooting some pet tips with Callie and I got to meet Scone, and have fallen in love with this cat, okay? I'm sitting on my feet, have this cat carrier here because he needs to get comfortable. Now Scone has a bit of a story. Like if people can see his ears, they're still gorgeous, but they're a little different. So let's talk to us about Scone's story.
Sure. So Scone was a feral cat. Sorry, that was outdoor.
Can you believe this cat was feral?
And oops, I'm going to lose mouse here. for a second, sorry, and was outdoor, and due to frostbite on his ears, he did lose the tip of his ears. But after being with us, he just became the calmest, cutest guy, and then he was adopted out, but he unfortunately was brought back to us, not for any concern of his. It was an issue with the owner, but now he's up and available for adoption again. He's 8 years old, but he is a lovely guy and would make an awesome companion.
I can honestly say, if I didn't already have 2 cats and a husband that is resistant about me getting a third, I would adopt Scone. This animal, like, he's shedding right now because it's springtime, so we have to give him that. I don't even care. You know, I just have him sitting on my lap. He is so lovely, and he would make such a perfect companion for anybody.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's talk about our little Mouse.
Yes, Mouse is a little nervous right now. This isn't a normal environment for a rabbit, but he is a really sweet guy. He's 2 years old, and he's available for adoption as well at our center on Woodbine Avenue.
Yeah.
So, you know, we always want to remind people that although a rabbit can be a good starter pet, they do live, you know, a good little lifespan. So you are making a commitment almost in the same way you are with a cat or a dog, maybe not quite as long as a cat, but don't think that it's just going to be a sort of quick pet, I guess, for lack of a better term, but that you are making a commitment with a rabbit as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been around rabbits all my life, and yeah, like I've had rabbits live past 10 years.
Yep.
And yeah, they are great. As you said, oh, he wants to escape. You know what? That's his exit cue, Shelby. Thank you. But briefly before we go, I just wanted to mention too, the Ontario SPCA, not only do you adopt animals, but you're also there to investigate and to advocate on behalf of animals. Can you just tell us quickly, if people know of an animal that's in distress, or you know about some sort of form of abuse, what can they do?
Call 310-SPCA, no matter where you are in the province, no area code needed. Again, 310-SPCA. We have 24/7 dispatch ready to take your call and hopefully get the help that's needed.
Thank you so much. Now, if you're interested in adopting Scone, and you should be, or our little mouse, please visit our website for all the information. And now here is our Callie with this week's pet tip.
Many pet owners travel with their cat or dog. Here are a few things to keep in mind to make sure your travels are a safe one. First, make sure your cat is kept securely in their cat carrier, which fits on the seat or floor of your car. As well, make sure your dog has a harness that fits them securely. This will ensure that your pet is safe in case of an accident. Also, some pets get car sick, so try not to feed any large meals immediately before travel. Keep treats on hand to reward good behavior. Take frequent breaks to ensure your pet is going to the washroom. And of course, keeping water on hand is always the #1 pet tip. I'm Callie Milliman with the Ontario SPCA, and that has been this week's Pet Tip.
Welcome back to What Pet Should I Get? Joining me now is Claire Fondren from Dogtails Rescue and Sanctuary, and she has brought Elsa. But before we start talking about Elsa, I just wanted to get an update. Last week you brought in Padre. He was a senior dog, or still is a senior dog. There he is on camera. He's so cute. So what's up with Padre?
So Padre is still waiting for a forever home, so we encourage anyone who's interested in a little senior lovin' and someone to snuggle with on the couch every night, please come and visit us and visit Padre. He really needs a home. Yeah.
And he's a good dog, and he deserves a good home.
He does. He's
Not that he doesn't have a good home with you guys, but you have a lot of dogs there, and the point is for them not to stay there, but to go to your home.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly, and he deserves it.
Yeah. Well, let's, if people are interested, visit our website. All the information about Dogtails is on there. I wanted to talk to you about a campaign that Dogtails started called the Human Shaming Campaign. Mm-hmm. Talk to us about that.
So that's something that I've actually been wanting to do for quite a while, and I was really happy with how it came together. So I think we've all seen the pictures of dog shaming.
Yeah.
So people will put a sign around their dog's neck.
I ate my owner's homework kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a sign saying what the dog has done wrong. But on a more serious note, we wanted to do a play on that where the dogs would wear signs saying what humans have done wrong to them, because so many of these dogs that we have at our shelter have been through so much, and Unfortunately, a lot of it has to do with really horrible humans that have come into their lives at some point or another. So, yeah, we picked 11 of our dogs, and they wrote signs saying what had been done to them. And we've had an amazing response from the campaign. People have been sharing it, posting it on their websites. Yeah, and it's been really exciting to see the great response that we've had. And it's putting a spotlight on dogs like Elsa.
Well, as you see on the screen, Elsa was part of that campaign, and her sign, I don't have my glasses on, her sign says that she was given up when she became paralyzed.
Yeah, so when she became paralyzed, her owner no longer wanted her.
Okay.
That's what her sign said.
Well, as we go back and look at Elsa that is here with us, Elsa is walking around.
Yes.
So Elsa is no longer paralyzed.
Yep.
So let's talk about Elsa. What happened?
Let's. So Elsa came to us a few months ago. She came to us in the fall through a woman who was originally from the Toronto area, but she moved to South Korea to teach English. And every day when she would walk to her job, she would walk past a farm, and there was a little puppy that would run up to the side of the road every day to greet her as she walked by. That puppy was Elsa. So Elsa really became an important part of her morning routine. She looked forward to seeing this puppy every day. And then one day when she walked past the farm, she noticed that the puppy was really limping and that her spine seemed like it wasn't aligned. So she approached the farmer and found out that a car had hit the puppy. And she asked the farmer if she could take the puppy to a vet because he hadn't.
He wasn't going to.
And he wasn't planning to, and he refused. He wouldn't let her take her. So a couple weeks went by, and she would walk past this farm every day, and she noticed that it was getting worse, and it reached a point where Elsa would try to run to the road to see her, but she could no longer even walk, so she'd be trying to drag herself, and it was just heartbreaking to see. So finally she approached the farmer, and he said, you know what, this dog, I don't have the money for the vet bills. I think I'm just going to euthanize her. So she convinced this farmer, luckily, to sell Elsa to her, and she
He
right
wanted
away.
to sell a dog that he was going to euthanize.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
she had to pay $100,
Wow.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so she bought Elsa and immediately took Elsa to actually a number of different vets. So the vets kept saying, this dog is paralyzed. She actually had an infection from dragging herself on the ground for so long, and most of the vets were recommending euthanasia. But luckily, she finally found a vet that said, you know what, I think there is something I can do. It'll be experimental, but it might help her walk again. So she went ahead and did it, and it made a huge difference immediately. And then she spent a couple months with Elsa working on rehabilitating her, and got her to a point where she was literally going on hikes through the mountains with this dog who was paralyzed for life. But with her job, she knew that she couldn't keep Elsa forever, so she reached out to us. And we've been doing water therapy with Elsa, so we have a pool that she swims in. And
Help her with her hips and recovery.
Exactly. And she is at a point where we create play groups for our dogs, and we will actually put her in with the big, kind of rougher dogs, because she is like lightning. This dog is so fast, and she loves to run and play, and you would never know that just less than a year ago she couldn't even walk.
And she's still a baby, too.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so maybe the viewers may notice that she's wearing a diaper because part of her recovery, she's still a little incontinent. But as I pointed out, if you have a dog with a diaper, you know he or she is never going to pee on your floor. So there is an upside to that, right? But she's ready to go.
She's ready to go.
Looking for a home.
So
And she's a beautiful dog. She's a purebred. What was her...
she's a Korean Jindo.
A Korean Jindo.
Yeah.
Like, that seems to me like a purebred dog. They are expensive dogs.
They are. And they're known for being very loyal dogs, and we definitely see that in her. She has a few favorites at the shelter, and yeah, she has the most amazing personality that you will ever find in a dog.
Well, as I always say every week that you're here, if you're looking to adopt Elsa, you can visit our website. But you know what's even better than just visiting the website is going to visit the shelter. Every Sunday, they're open to the public from 11 till 5, and the property's beautiful, and you get to see these dogs and just love the place.
Exactly.
Now, Thank you so much for being on the show. Coming up after the break, we are traveling to the North Toronto Cat Rescue. But before we throw to our vet tip this week, I just wanted to mention quickly, as you know, Fort McMurray, there's raging wildfires there. If you're interested in helping in any way, you can text Red Cross to the number 45678 to donate $10. If you want to donate $5, you can again text Red Cross to 30333. Our thoughts and wishes are going out to everybody at Fort McMurray. And again, if you're interested, please make a donation. Every dollar helps. Now, with this week's vet tip is Dr. MJ Winters.
A common reason why we see our feline friends at the clinic here is stress. Stress has many causes, and some of those are things like a new baby, a new pet, travel, or a visit to the vet. If your cat is suffering from stress, you may see many things. Reduced eating, increased urination, inappropriate urination, vocalizing, foaming from the mouth, or breathing heavily. Always monitor your cat for any of these symptoms if you think stress is an issue. Some of the treatments you can do at home to help your cat are the use of pheromones, increasing the number of toys in the house, giving your cat a scratching post, increase the number of litter boxes, and providing your cat with a quiet place where the cat can seek refuge when it feels a little anxious. Remember, prevention is better than cure. I'm Dr. MJ Winters at the 404 Emergency and Referral Hospital, and that's this week's Vet Tip.
Hey guys, we're here at the North Toronto Cat Rescue, located in Thornhill, and this place is truly a labor of love for founder Donna Cox, who has been operating this not-for-profit charity for the past 28 years. Now, the cats in this room are just a small sampling of the 170 plus cats that are here in this building, and each one of these animals has been rescued from gullies, behind dumpsters. They're just unwanted animals that were considered somewhat feral, but with the right amount of love and affection, they can be tamed, and all of them are looking for forever homes. Now, you've been rescuing cats for over 28 years.
Yes, correct.
Tell me, why'd you get started doing this? What happened?
Well, it was just fate. One evening I ran into a problem, which I discovered was a problem. I didn't know it was a problem at the time. But after discovering what was there, which happened to be 45 cats in a swamp, I decided to take action and help them. And that's taken me on a long journey of all this time. But first of all, that was about 6 years of getting them out of the swamp slowly.
Wow. Now, you started North Toronto Cat Rescue, and you really sort of work on rescuing cats from the wild.
Yes, correct.
Now, I know that's unique because a lot of people, like a lot of shelters, they take cats that are unwanted or somebody's kittens or whatever, but
yes.
Like, what's the approach to that? Because it must be a lot more difficult when you're dealing with cats that have never lived in homes.
Well, you know, true to fact, some of these cats probably did live in homes. They've just been put out there, abandoned, exactly. So then the colonies begin, because rarely are they ever spay and neutered when their folks put them out there. I get calls all the time of people who want to get rid of their cats, but they're not spay and neutered. They get them free on some of these ads online. And so they're giveaways in the first place, and when it comes time to spay and neuter them, they say, didn't spend any money on them, not going to do it now. So off they go, and the colony begins, more than likely. So that's how it happens.
Mm-hmm. And when you go out to get into a colony and to start taking the cats, like, I mean, I guess some of them, if they've been living in a home, they're a little bit more approachable. But if you're getting cats that have been born and raised in a colony, they're going to be very leery of humans. How do you get them here and then get them adjusted to where they could be adopted
well,
out?
as you can see around, all of the, well, 99% of these in here have come from colonies or out in the wild or whatever. People refer to them as ferals. What I have actually found is they're not true ferals. They are actually just scared, and that's a way, it's a defense to save their life. They hiss at you, they back up, they're apprehensive, but actually after you work with them for a little while, they know that you're not the enemy, and they turn into what we have here today and throughout the house.
Now, I know having 170 cats to take care of here, and the ongoing work that you do saving cats from that are living outdoors, it takes money.
Yes,
and
it
you are
does.
not sponsored or funded in any way. Everything comes through private donations and out of your own pocketbook.
A lot out of my own pocket, yes, and donations, and we're more than grateful to have those, because food bills here, for instance, are $1,000 a week. So, and running this building, and in the winter it's heat and hydro, or air conditioning in the summer. I mean, there are costs to running a building as well as vetting and feeding all these animals.
Well, vetting, I know, is huge, because obviously if a cat spent a majority of its life outdoors, it's going to come in with illnesses, a little bit beat up, and you guys ensure that each one of these cats is healthy, and they all get spayed and neutered.
Absolutely.
So I imagine your vet bills must be astronomical.
They are. They're astronomical. We do get a rescue rate, but still, in all, they're not freebies out there. They're still it's very expensive. It's a very expensive hobby to rescue these guys, but feel good at the end of the day.
I imagine with what you've dedicated to this center, it's more than a hobby. This is your life.
It is
your
my
life's
life.
work.
It definitely is. It didn't start out in a way to be. It wasn't a plan that I had drawn up for myself. It just happened. It just presented itself on one occasion, and it changed my life forever, that one single night in September. Wow. A long time ago.
Now, I know what's unique also about this place is, as you can see, none of the cats, well, some of the cats are in cages, but that is because they're new to the shelter and they're still getting adapted. But once they're adapted, they're free to roam. And none of these cats will ever have to worry about being euthanized, right?
Absolutely not. No, unless they were in some kind of illness and pain. We don't have anything suffer.
But it's not because of too much.
No.
Not enough space or whatever.
No, absolutely not. We keep our numbers at the numbers we can handle, and that includes those that may never get adopted. Although occasionally, you'll have someone come in who wants an older cat, maybe 9 or 10, perhaps in some cases an older person who doesn't want to start out with a kitten at the age they are, so they will take an older cat, which is lovely.
9 or 10 for a cat that lives indoors, to me is, it's older, but not really.
That's
because
true.
My cat, who was well taken care of, lived till she was 20.
Yep.
So really, 9 or 10, she's halfway through her life.
That's absolutely, and mine lived to be 25.
Yeah.
I had two, one at 24 and one at 25. So yes, it's
now,
great.
I know you got some news about losing the shelter. You're losing your lease at the end of 2016.
Yes.
And you're currently looking for a new place.
Yes.
What can the public do to help you make that happen?
Well, first of all, we have 2 programs out there to help us financially. Doing this work takes every nickel to spay, neuter, and to feed and run the building. So there isn't a great cash supply as far as we have now. So we are asking for donations to help us move forward to get another place. We probably could move this shelter. Our developer indicated that we could have it, but getting a piece of land is dastardly expensive.
What, move the building, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's a consideration if we could find a piece of property. So, but it is finding a standalone, whether it's that or finding a standalone structure. We obviously can't be in residential. We can't be in a building that's attached to something else. So it has to be rather specific that we're looking for something, again, standalone, where we can continue the work we do as a no-kill facility. I think it's a service that is well deserved in the community. We are the only no-kill there is in the area, and we're proud. We can sleep at night. We don't harm these animals. They deserve a second chance. We are their voice.
Now, the clock is ticking for the North Toronto Cat Rescue. Their time here at this location is almost up, and they are in desperate need of funds to continue doing what they do best. If you are interested in helping out financially, or if you'd like to volunteer your time, you can visit their website for details, which you can find at our website. And for all of us here at What Pet Should I Get? I'm Julia Batchelor. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.